Then, let's talk about the dangerous cycle of scheduled sex. Here is where it gets worse. Some wives schedule sex just to keep the marriage going, just to keep the marriage running. It could be twice a month, just enough to avoid complaints. It could be just enough to maintain the illusion of a happy marriage. It could be just enough to keep the peace. But what happens when intimacy becomes an obligation rather than a connection? Resentment builds up. Desire disappears. Love starts to feel like a duty, not, not a joy. Good men struggle with this. This is why good men feel trapped.
Honestly, I think the good men just need to wake up to the realization that the sex is transactional or it's conditional in the relationship or even the marriage. Because I think so many men go into the relationship and marriage with the Disney love fantasy. So I think that's where the issue is. I can't blame the women for knowing that everything that's going on is conditional. I can't blame them. They are smart, they are logical. But once men fall in love, the logic goes out of the window. They think that if they keep doing everything they've always been doing for their woman, that she will just be who she has always been. And people grow, people change. That's another thing people have to realize. So if you feel you don't get what you want as a man or as a husband, communicate. If that doesn't change, then figure out ways where you're either going to have to leave the relationship, because I can guarantee you, if you stop providing, stop paying the bills, she's going to leave. So if you feel intimacy is that important to you that you don't get it, I wouldn't blame you for leaving either.
They try to understand. They try to they try to fix things. They try to be patient. But no matter how much effort they put in, the truth remains. If the woman mentally switches off, nothing, absolutely nothing turns her back on except herself. So, what's the solution? Ladies, own your happiness. Intimacy isn't about fulfilling a duty, it's about creating a connection that lasts. If you feel disconnected from your husband, ask yourself, is it really him, or is there something deeper at play? Has intimacy become a tool instead of an expression of love? A strong marriage starts with honest communication, emotional presence, and real connection, not just obligations. So do not expect your wife to be like having this in her head saying, wife, it's your duty. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. Create an opportunity for her. Create the environment for her to be able to make herself happy. It's in her to know what makes her happy. The moment your wife is able to figure it out, she spreads that goodness in the house. But women, you have to be consciously ready to be happy.
I mean, I kind of agree with her and I disagree with her. I agree that the ladies should ask themselves the questions, especially when they feel that, again, we talk about feelings because they feel so many things. What she felt at 6 a.m. is not the same thing she's going to feel at 6 p.m. At 6 a.m., maybe she felt she really wanted to tear the clothes off her husband, but at 6 p.m., maybe he's the ugliest man she has ever met. So they feel so many things, right? But I agree that the ladies should ask themselves questions and communicate with their husbands if something is going wrong. But at the same time, I don't think men are obligated to figure out what's going on. And the reason I'm saying, because we are both adults. As a man, I should communicate what's going wrong, what I don't like. And as a lady, communicate what you don't like, what you think I should change. But sometimes you communicate what I should change, even when there is nothing. It's like they create problems with where there are no problems. You feel me? So at the end of the day, for me, the solution, like she was saying, The solution would be for people to learn that marriage takes work and relationships take work in general. Obviously, the communication. And then lastly, men have to learn that many women are in business, not in love, the way men are. Shout out to CGF. What do you guys think about that? I'll put the full link down below, but I wanted to go through the comments and see if the ladies agree with her. Again, her channel is the International Wife School, so I'll put the link down below. See, this is what I said. And the first comment says, an advice to all good men. You are not responsible for any woman's happiness. Attempting to make a woman happy will leave you frustrated. That's why I said a man may do everything right and she still may not be happy. So at that point, he's not obligated. He's only obligated to do what he promised he was going to do and to hold his end of the roles as a man. You know, this person says, great video. When sex stops, the marriage stops. Facts. Especially if there was sex involved in the beginning of the marriage, of the relationship, or even before the marriage. This one says, never isolate yourself, always make them know you have options. Okay. This man says, it took me more than a decade of marriage to realize my wife was never in love with me. Once she was done having children, intimacy came to a screeching halt. I was a means to an end, and love was never part of the equation. That's facts. And then there's another person says, is she truly in marriage or is she using the marriage? You know, I was looking for a woman to see if they were disagreeing, but it looks like mostly guys. Sex is an obligation for both men and women. Mostly guys talking about their stories and, you know, giving their experiences. All right, so shout out to this lady. I'll link down below the video.